Talk about your blue plate specials.
Welcome. It is Saturday morning, so you know it's time for another live edition of the Extra Point. Bill Coach in the house, Tasha T. Sizzle in the house, Michigan Michael Hasso is in the house. How goes it today, esteemed panel?
It goes. It's y'all. It's cold as hell down here. I ain't gonna lie. Your girl had to wrap up last night.
So basically, you can use that the heating blanket that I wanted work the other day, huh?
I thought about it.
Go ahead and send it down there.
Uses used a weighted blanket. I was like, I need that blanket, bro. I need that blanket.
Those weighted blankets are something else. Yeah, those will kill you if you get caught up under it the wrong way. All right, we have
how heavy is your blanket? All you need is a good 15-pounder.
My sister has one, a Saints one, and that thing once it gets to land on your legs, you might be looking like that reel you sent me of dude going flying down the stairs. You know, you might be looking like Professor X. All right, we digress. All right, college football is entering its final month of the season. Just a few regular season games left, and the race for the top 12 continues to heat up. We've had a number of surprising stories in college football this year, and I wanted to get your thoughts on which program has been the best story so far in college football. I got a few options for you. All right, we're going to go with 6-2 Colorado, 5-3 Vanderbilt, 8-0 Indiana, and 7-0 Army. Tasha, you're batting lead off today. What's the best story in college football out of those picks? Or if you have another one.
You see it. I'm wearing this because y'all know my mom works at Vanderbilt. Ain't no way in the hell can y'all sit up here on Al Gore's internet and say that y'all thought Vanderbilt would be in any conversation related to college football. That is it's most impressive. For Colorado, you say, yeah, I can expect that. Indiana is a strong second because other than basketball and, like I said, Antoine Randall, when have we ever discussed Indiana and football in the same sentence? And Army, Army always gets the nod because it's the service academies and it's always the Army-Navy game at the end of the year. But Vanderbilt alone, and then the type of quarterback that they actually have, that is not your typical Vanderbilt, quarterback. Like Pavia, he's out there. His brothers are out there with no shirts on. They look like they thugging it. He's from New Mexico. He went to like a military academy, New Mexico State, and now he's in the Bible Belt, which is Nashville, Tennessee, down there at Vanderbilt University, doing everything that does not look like Vanderbilt, and I love it.
Excellent start to the show. She bat a single. Let's call that a triple leading off the show. Mike, do you agree?
I agree that it's impressive. I don't think that it's the number one story, just because I think what they've done so far, I mean, obviously the home win against Alabama was the biggest, and that, hopefully it happens again. Hopefully Vanderbilt can, this can rekindle its football spirit. Hopefully they get a new stadium. Hopefully they can get more fans in there.
Happen. Dudley Field, only thing they're going to do is put an extra row or two. They'll never get a new field.
Well, hopefully it's suites, because that's what SMU did. They just added suites to it. So
because Mike, you've been to Nashville before. That whole area is nothing but this right here. Is this hospital. Any extra land they get is going to be for a new hospital wing. It won't be for Vanderbilt football.
And I think that's kind of my point is it's kind of like a shot in the dark here. Like that was the biggest win. By the end of the season, I think they'll end up having, maybe at least one, maybe two more losses. And they'll have a bowl game, which is great. I think what Dion has done with this program has turned it around completely. Because Colorado is a football school. Like that's what they do is play football. So for him to turn that around, and I know there was a lot of Dion haters out there, and some that were rooting for him. And I just like what he's done with this program. And to be honest, I didn't think he was going to win or be in the conversation of a playoff team, but Colorado is currently in that talk. So I would say Colorado.
See, that's why I disagree, because like we knew this was possible with Colorado. Well, you just said you didn't think it would happen, but with the caliber of players, you can go from top to bottom on that roster of Colorado and put it top to bottom on Vanderbilt, and you can be like, why he playing football? Why he here? How he get a scholarship? Like, I mean, I kind of like, because like you said, Mike, Colorado is a football school. So at some point, some of these schools, they got to turn it around. And, you know, he's out there, he's saying what he said. He got the talent. So to me, that's not as impressive.
I think the full story, though, is impressive. Like what he's done with Colorado. Like if it was so easy to do, then someone else could jump in there and do it. But Deion has done it, and he's done what he said he was going to do on pretty much his last year with that team that he built. So I think that part is the impressive part. If we want to talk about the other schools, Army, I mean, it's not the first time they've been undefeated going in and then they end up losing, or they get a good bowl game and they lose. Like they run the ball. Like we get it.
I mean, they go to the Pinstripe Bowl or whatever that is.
They have cool uniforms. Like, okay, cool. Indiana, like, yeah, it's impressive, but they also haven't played anybody in the Big Ten. So, I mean, yeah, I would say, I think Vanderbilt for me is it's either Vanderbilt or Colorado in my opinion. But I'm gonna stick with Colorado.
Excellent volley to start the show. Both of you made some great points. Good morning, Christina. I'm going to give, from a regional standpoint, growing up in Nashville, I think for me personally, Vanderbilt has been an awesome story because it's something that I didn't see coming. I couldn't have saw that coming with bifocals on, and I have some pretty strong prescriptions on right now. But I think from a national storyline, overall college football, the fact that the Colorado Buffaloes are still in play for a Big 12 championship and possible CFP berth makes it a more intriguing story because I think it has more intrigue going forward. But Vanderbilt has been impressive.
But again, to Mike's point, it is a football school. Why wouldn't they football? So that's my whole thing.
Well, I mean,
Colorado is not
2 years
because we assumed that this would happen. So it's not don't get me wrong. I'm glad they're there. It's not as impressive because we assumed that Colorado would get there. We didn't assume that Vanderbilt was going to get there.
Did we really assume?
I did.
Did we really assume it?
I mean, when they realigned the conferences, and I said, and I watched some of the Deion, some of the team and stuff. I said it is a way that they can actually be viable because the Big 12 is weak. That was my point. Not because I thought they were going to go out here and be this formidable force of football, but it's not surprising that Deion was able to get this together. Who would have thought? I mean, Missouri turned out to not be really what we thought they were going to be this season. Vanderbilt hung in there with Missouri. They beat Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech is not as good as we thought they were either. Even Alabama is not as good, but usually Vanderbilt, Coach Saban said it. What did he say about Vanderbilt? This is the place where you can come and get come up on a victory down here. This is the easiest place to play.
Yeah.
Who would have thought that? Like even when James Franklin first got there and he had him rolling going to a bowl game, the first in like 30 or 40 years, who would have thought that? And again, who would have thought that they would be in a conversation to even take a goalpost down to the Cumberland?
Yeah, it's fascinating. And we still have a few weeks left to see how this all plays out. Good morning, AP Culture. Good morning, Farah of Our Take. Thank you for joining us this morning. It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. I think if all things being equal, I think Deion has a great chance of being Coach of the Year if he can squeak out to 10 wins. And looking at their schedule, they should be favored in every game going forward. A Big 12 championship game.
Schedule.
They have Auburn. I don't have it right in front of me.
Okay, so okay. Go ahead, Mike. I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say, did you ask what their schedule looks like for the rest of the season?
Because they beat Kentucky. They have beat, or is it the SEC ain't what? Only thing the SEC we're talking about is Tennessee, Bama, and Texas.
They could lose 3 games out of the last 4. They have Auburn, At Auburn, home at South Carolina or with South Carolina. They have at LSU and versus Tennessee is the last game.
See, yeah, those are 3
Yeah,
losses. Because
yeah.
South Carolina is
It wouldn't even be a shocker. Yeah, yeah. It wouldn't even be a shocker if they missed out on 6 games. Hopefully that won't be the case, but that definitely is a possibility. Now, we started off the college football season in week 1, kind of giving our overall parameters of what we felt like a Heisman Trophy candidate should look like, and maybe who are some people that are on the radar. And to you all's point, the people that you all were naming is still in the running. Producer Mike. Now, we have the current up-to-date FanDuel betting odds on the Heisman Trophy race right now. And Tasha, when I'm seeing your face right now, because when Mike sent this to me yesterday, I immediately said, "Oh, Tasha ain't gonna like this," but sitting up at number 1. We're gonna let you kind of go off on that in just a second, but just to give people an overall overview of how this works. Usually, the top 4 or 5 players are invited to New York for the ceremony, and right now, those players would be Dylan Gabriel, quarterback of Oregon. Travis Hunter, the two-way star from Colorado, Cam Ward, quarterback from Miami, and Ashton Genty, the superstar running back from Boise State. Now, I'm going to get you all's opinion on who you think should win it at this stage of the season, but let me give the people a quick synopsis of what these players have done. So Gabriel, he's completing 76% of his passes, 2,300 yards passing, 23 total touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Hunter, 60 receptions, 750 yards, 8 TDs that leads the Big 12. He also has 2 interceptions and a game-winning forced fumble that he had against Colorado State that sealed that overtime victory. Now, Cam Ward has better numbers than Dylan Gabriel. He's only 68% completion, but 2,700 yards, 27 touchdowns, same 5 interceptions, and Genty has just been a monster. He's got 1,500 yards rushing. Mike, he's averaging 8 yards a carry with 21 touchdowns. He's on pace to get up in the stratosphere with Barry Sanders for
and
greatest
his lowest output of the season has been the lowest 127 yards.
And that's because they pull him. Like, they pull him most of the time.
And he's 5'9".
Right. And so
what's wrong with 5'9"?
Nothing. That's what I'm saying. A running back, a 5'9" running back doing that?
Yeah.
Nice. All right. Now, Mike, let's start with you. Who are you voting for if you get a Heisman vote from this list of candidates?
For me, I know I talked at the earlier season talking about Travis Hunter. If they continue to win, like, that's my vote, playing both sides at the caliber that he's doing. Although I don't necessarily agree, but it seems like Colorado needs him to play both sides anyways. I really like Ashton Gentry's play right now. Like, you look at his, like, everyone's like, well, Boise hadn't really played anybody. They barely lost by 3 points to the number 1 team in the country right now. 34-37 to Oregon. He did what he did. He had almost 200 rushing yards. He had 3 touchdowns against the number 1 team. You take him out of that Boise State team, there is no way in hell they barely lose by 3 points. He's my vote for sure. He's been balling out. And now people look at his overall stats, but again, you have to take into consideration. I know some people bet like over under on his rushing yards on the different apps. They pull him really early. Like, it's usually like the first half he plays and then it's done. So he's definitely my vote.
T-Sizzle.
I agree with Mike, but the thing, Mike just said something that made me say, where's the spoon? Take Cam Ward off of Miami, 8-4. But y'all know I hate to root against Cam Ward because I'm just tired of quarterbacks winning the award. This guy at Oregon, I don't even put him on the list. Travis Hunter, what he's doing on defense, it just reminds me of Charles Woodson. Everything that the offensive play, but his defensive style of play, the plays that he's making reminds me of Charles Woodson when he won the Heisman. I really love Genty. Did y'all see his girlfriend went on there and went at Travis Hunter because he was saying, why he should be this, and kind of took a swipe at Genty a little bit, and she was like, bro, we ain't finna do that. We not finna do this. But
there are TikTok sensations, actually, him and his girlfriend.
I love, and she's an athlete, guys. Runs track down there at Austin P. Beautiful queen, beautiful.
Now,
It's
let me bring y'all's faces up here real quick.
it's a tough one. It's tough because I would love to see Travis Hunter win it. I'm not gonna root for Cam because I just don't want a quarterback to win it again. And I love what Cam Ward is doing because I mean he really came out of nowhere. He was at Washington State.
Yeah.
Come on, Washington State. He's going to Miami. He's basically Mr. Miami down there. But I really like. I'm with Mike. I do like what Ashton Jeanty is doing. Like at a school like Boise State, being an undersized back. I mean, it's like a lot of people are switching back to that style of back anyway. These big Derrick Henry, the Kane prototypes are few and far in between now.
Yeah. Now, the tie went to Mike in the opening salvo, but I think I'm gonna step into the realm of Travis Hunter for two reasons. One, Tasha, something that you brought up earlier, that this is reminiscent of the 97 year with Charles Woodson. And if you all recall that year, those of you all who are old enough to remember, the people that he was running against was Peyton Manning and Randy Moss. And as we bring this list back up, I just want to make some comparisons because it's eerily similar to this year's race. Peyton Manning is basically your Cam Ward, your Dylan Gabriel, the star quarterback on one of the top teams in the nation that's vying for a championship, that has the pedigree, that's in the high-profile Power 5 games, that's going to be in the primetime games, that situation. Your Randy Moss is your Ashton Jeanty. I mean, Randy Moss was at Marshall, putting up unbelievable numbers against not quite top caliber competition, but you knew that he was by far and away one of the best players in the country, and that if given the opportunity, he could do it against top flight competition as well. He proved that in the NFL. I think Jeanty is the same way. I'm not going to knock him for playing in the WAC instead of playing in the SEC because I think he could cook there, especially with an SEC or a Big Ten caliber offensive line. The thing that separated Charles Woodson, and I think the same thing would be for Travis Hunter, was the moments, because you couldn't really gauge Charles Woodson basically just solely on his stats, because a defensive player that's a lockdown corner is not going to have the looks because they're throwing away from his side of the field. Travis Hunter, ladies and gentlemen, is the first player in college football history to earn Offensive Player of the Week and Defensive Player of the Week in the same season. Like, on what planet?
We're not saying who was going to win. Mike and I said who we would vote for.
No. I'm saying y'all have a great betting chance. I would not bet money against Ashton Jeanty to get it done because he has a legitimate chance to get into the CFP.
With the Randy Moss comparisons, that pretty much puts him out. I mean, I would love to see Travis Hunter win it, but I mean, I like what Ashton Jeanty is doing.
I would even say that Travis Hunter is more of the Randy Moss. I mean, at least Jeanty has played against the number 1 ranked team. Like, who's Colorado played against? Nobody.
Well, nobody yet, but he still has a chance to go to the college football playoff. And Jeanty,
they both do.
Got 194 against. Yeah, he got 194 against Oregon. But come on, let's face it. Last night he played against San Diego State. They're playing against like the Citadel, teams of that nature. If you can sit your running back in the fourth quarter, that tells you right there alone.
It's supposed to be the most impressive player of the college football season. It didn't say, oh, he played against this, he played against that. Because again, you gave it to Jaden Daniels and he lost 3 times.
Right. I just think that what Travis Hunter is doing is Charles Woodson-esque with one of those exponential signs next to it, playing 130 snaps a game, playing on defense, making an impact on defense, leading the Big 12 in touchdown receptions, and it's the moments, the forced fumble to win the game in overtime, the Heisman pose against UCF, the 3 touchdown performance in the regular season opener. He did, but Jeanty plays on BET Plus. Like last night, I could barely find him on YouTube TV. You playing on a Friday night on a station. Like, I think that's going to hurt him, and like it hurt Randy Moss. That's all. He's kind of, and he plays on the West Coast. It's a box score type of deal where a lot of people on the East Coast that are voting may only see the box score and not his overall
I mean, but
impact.
y'all got that dude.
I would not
y'all
be
got that
surprised
dude
if
from
he was.
Oregon up there in the race, so don't give me that bias again.
Now you know he gets the benefit of playing on the East Coast now, because where is he going to be today? In the big house on national television at CBS on the East Coast.
Without Will Johnson.
So his chance is finna drop anyway because he losing.
Tasha, right here. Mm-hmm. Mike done gave up on the blue. Good to see you right there. Yeah, right there. Give me love. Roll with it. Boom, boom, boom.
That's one of our.
We're gonna digress because Mike over here picking Ohio. Right, Mike over here picking Ohio State and stuff. Got me ready to cuss. It ain't even 10 o'clock in the morning. All right. Yeah, it should be good. And excellent points made by you. I would not be surprised one bit if Genty wins it, and I would not say that he was not deserving. Let's see how these last 3 or 4 games play out. Now, Mike, I saw something that hit the Geek Wire last night that I wanted to get your thoughts on, because I figured that you would probably enjoy this story with your level of petty when it comes to one SEC conference. Ladies and gentlemen, did you all see last night that SEC Commissioner Greg Sankey sent a scathing memo to the athletic directors and the head coaches of the Southeastern Conference, basically telling them to cut it out with the faking the injuries on the damn field? He's had enough of the shenanigans and the chicanery. I'm going to give you a quote directly obtained from ESPN.com, where Commissioner Sankey says, as plainly as can be stated, stop any and all activity related to faking injuries to create timeouts, play football, and stop all the feigned injury nonsense. Now, you saw the viral moment where the Mississippi running back, Ole Miss running back, just, the other guy who got put on the field from Arkansas just, fell. Mike, the SEC touts itself as being the biggest, baddest bullies on the block. Is this a black eye for the SEC?
I mean, self-proclaimed, but I'll move on. Yeah, I mean, it's, to be honest, no. I'm gonna say no. I mean, I originally said yes, but I mean, no. I mean, SEC plays within these dotted lines that aren't necessarily solid, and if that's the rule, that's the rule. Like, if you don't like the rule, change it. But SEC is gonna play whatever can give them that advantage and to win the football game. So if you don't like the rule, they need to change it. They ain't gonna do anything. They're not gonna change. Come on now, they're not gonna change.
Now, Langston has given us an occurrence. He says, y'all are on a written. Do I have to change your shift? Is there something we can do as a company because your next step is final? It was 3 minutes. We don't get a 5-minute grace? What company is this?
Minutes. We're mostly in Texas, and considering the employment statute of limitations, it's 5-minute leeway. So
okay, Sasha Jr. calling us out. We tried, Langston. You just not getting in here. Where you been? Oh, you've been luxuriating.
Tasha, that clapback was legendary.
He been luxuriating in that brand new palace of his. That's what he was doing with the baby. He been luxuriating. Okay,
no, but it took him right.
He's enjoying all that money that he's been putting them from Michigan Mike's Locks. That's what's happening.
Right, because Mike's Locks gave him the down payment on that luxurious mansion, and it probably took him an hour to get from the tub to his laptop. So he said, nope, I was here. Oh, okay. You was just waiting in the wings. But you know what, though, Langston? We appreciate you. You're like the official, unofficial 4th member of the show. We love you, Langston, and thank you for being in there from the get-go. But your SEC teams, we tired of them faking tough and passing out and faking on the field.
You can't just say it's SEC. I saw it in the NFL the other day. That is an issue. And don't they penalize them if they catch? But come on, if you out there jumping around doing jumping jacks and all of a sudden you taking a knee, it needs to be more of a penalty. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Right. No. Great segue, Tasha, because I was coming to you with the penalty. Now, Sankey said the coaches, and this is for you too, Mike. Sankey said the coaches will be fined $50,000 for the first offense, $100,000 for the second offense, and a 1-game suspension for the third offense. Mike, do you agree with that level of discipline?
Yeah, that sounds right. I mean, I was gonna say some type of money. That seems pretty high, so it seems like they're trying to stop it right away.
Right, Tasha?
Yeah, I mean it.
Hey, well, the cat agrees.
He said, you heard him. Cassie said,
Meow.
yeah. You said yes, Cassie. Get down, Cassie. Oh, now he said no. He didn't want to get down.
You got the whole galaxy thing on the chain. I like that. Okay.
It's fish, and it
Amen
goes
to
in the dark. But I think if they start to penalize them a little more, that it will it will curtail it some, because I think it's ridiculous. Like Sankey said, you need to play the game. You need to play football. If you don't know how to manage your timeouts, or if your team is not doing what they're supposed to do, you need to change up your coaching style. You need to do something else. But don't sit up here and keep delaying the game because of these phantom injuries that you guys are just pulling out of nowhere.
Yep.
And I think and I totally agree. And I think the biggest problem, and I don't even think, Mike, that they're trying to burn a timeout. I think they're trying to stop momentum from the other team.
100%.
That's going hurry up or huddle. And
it's crazy because yes, we talk about, everyone gets 3 timeouts per half, but when it's televised, you get televised timeouts too. So you got like a whole bunch of time to talk about game plan. So it's unacceptable.
Exactly.
Unacceptable. Mike,
Paul,
that was a great word to use to segue into the NFL. Speaking of,
he's behind,
yes,
Mike.
I am.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, let me try something.
Don't disconnect the
All right,
show.
I'm going to try something else. I have to go.
Let me pull the script up. Wait a minute, y'all. He trying something else. Let me pull the script up. We know what that means.
I'm not disconnecting. I'm not disconnecting the show. I had to go to my backup laptop, so I'm kind of going on the fly this morning. Thank y'all for hanging in there with me. Am I in real time now?
We're going to see. Just keep going.
Oh, okay. Well, y'all paused and made me scared. I was like, am I still here? All right. Now. All right, we're gonna try to power through this. All right. So sorry about that today, ladies and gentlemen. Now, Mike, you used the word unacceptable a few minutes ago, and I think that's a great segue into our NFL segment, because there were 2 viral moments that happened in the NFL last Sunday for all the wrong reasons. My gosh. Now, let's start with Landover, Maryland.
Said in history. Not in history.
I've never seen nothing like that. So
now, this is crazy, y'all. Now he says, nope, I've been behind D09. I was in Miss LaCrone's honors class. Thank you very much, Langston. All right. Now, Tyreek Stevenson, cornerback for the Chicago Bears. The Bears had a 1-point lead, 2-point lead. They had a lead with just like a couple of seconds left on the clock. Stevenson could be seen taunting the Washington Commanders crowd as Jaden Daniels was ready to snap the final play, a Hail Mary attempt to win the game. If I'm not mistaken, and correct me if I'm missing something here, but I believe the play had already started and his back was still turned to the play, just kind of goofing around. And then
that's that second photo right there.
He turned around and ran. Then he tipped the ball into the hands of the guy he was supposed to be covering, who catches the ball for one of the most miraculous and embarrassing moments in NFL history. Tasha, what were your thoughts when you saw that? Because I think you thought that Washington had already lost that game.
Well, no, because I said, oh, when they scored the touchdown, I was like, oh, whatever, they lost. And then when this play, because I had actually changed the channel. When I turned it back is when I saw Jaden scrambling. So I almost missed it. And then I put something else out immediately after that. Was like, perfect execution of a Hail Mary. I was like, bro, what you doing? Like, no one. But the thing is, we didn't see him off the camera because everything was showing Jaden Daniels. And that, they were talking about number 53, whatever his name was, not covering or not really getting where he was supposed to be.
Right.
So no one really saw this until later on in the day. And when I saw that, I'm like, you up here whooping it up, hyping up the crowd, taunting the crowd. And at first I was like, well, it's really not his fault. He did get back over there. to do whatever he's supposed to do. But I really think they're coming down on him too much, because he was over there to make the play. But how many times do coaches tell you bat the ball down and players still don't bat the ball down? So I think they're giving him a lot of hell that's undeserved. And him being up, that was embarrassing as hell. Because now it's like, womp, 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 like, because you should have been in
right here, what Priest said.
like literally, you should have been in position. Maybe had you been in position earlier, it wouldn't even been a need for you to tip it. But I'm not going to put all the blame on him, because I've seen several players who don't bat the ball down. They tip it up. So that's my thought on it.
Hey, Farrah said he's been on Walmart delivery all week. Brother can't go nowhere. Mike, your thoughts on that play?
Yeah, I thought it was pretty embarrassing. I mean, you see on there, like, I've never seen something like this. And to Tasha's point, like, from the camera view from the TV, like, they don't really show you. They just show, the pocket area. But then, of course, they scored and stuff. And so I didn't really see it until the Instagrams and stuff like that started coming out. And I saw, him on I thought it was a different play. And I was like, oh, I hope he gets scored on. And then sure enough, it was the last play. I was like, I've never seen someone do that before on a Hail Mary. Just be like, I have, of course, seen like Jabril Peppers, and then, but he was always facing, and the play hadn't, like, they were still running music and they were still in TV timeout for him to dance and stuff like that. So, like, I never seen during a play, they hike it and he's like, so anyways, I better get back to my coverage over here. Yes, right, he was in position. Right. He was in position to make a play. It just so happened. I think it was more of a karma thing, but that's still pretty embarrassing that you're just taunting someone and then you just get scored on.
Yeah. And then it's like they were interviewing the fans. One of our good brothers, Shamari Stone, who is a newscaster for Fox 5 in DC and Michigan alum, like, he put the story out there when they were interviewing one of the fans, and he was talking about, yeah, it was a tough game. We almost, and then there's the Hail Mary. And then the guy's whole interview just switched from, we almost had it, to, oh man, did you see that? And it was funny. It was funny.
That was excellent. Mike, Lakester brought up a good point here. He says the North is tough. That loss is going to cost them. You think that could cost them a playoff, a wild card?
Yeah.
Tasha, Mike.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
They're already at the bottom. And when you're in a conference where everybody,
the play was almost as great as the beat City.
When you're in a conference where all the teams are winning or viable, a stupid mistake like that can put you on the outs. You can be the first one out.
Right. Like we will be looking back on that play with intense scrutiny if they don't get it done. And to your point, the NFC North.
Mama Coulter, I can't agree with you, Mama Coulter, because I was there. Maybe if I would have been at the Commanders game, but I was at that Music City Miracle. The swell of the roar and oh my God, that was
almost.
I would never forget that, because I was leaving. I was literally walking up the stairs to turn around. I mean, to go out. And then when I heard this crowd noise, I turned around and I just see everything coming right at me. It was amazing. That was
Mike,
amazing.
she was one of those. Mike, it sounded like she was one of those Heat fans that couldn't get back in the building after the Ray Allen hit that three. Is what it sounded like.
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't the only one, because we felt like, okay, who would have thought? Who would have thunk it? Nobody would have thought that would have turned out with the late great Frank Wycheck giving it to Dyson. No one would have thought that. I'm gonna need him to not change his computer ever again. We need to have a test run on Friday nights before you go live on air.
I tell him to come on at 8 a.m. to get it set up.
These types of shenanigans. Dude, we live.
Go ahead, Tosh.
I'm done.
Look.
We finished talking about the Music City Miracle 20 minutes ago. Where you been?
Oh god.
He said that I got a Lenovo.
He got that T-Mobile.
Got his laptop off the TV and the Wi-Fi. You got some of that Dominican Wi-Fi, don't you?
No, actually,
I
just got my fiber. I told y'all I had to go to a backup laptop at the 9th hour. So apologies for the technical difficulties. I will have that squared away next time. Now, AP, before we go on to Anthony Richardson, I mean, AP coach, and I love telling this story. She made us stay for the end of that game. Me and Damian and Stephanie was ready to get the hell out of Dodge. It was freezing outside, and Mama said, "No, we're at this game. We're gonna stay and watch it to the end." And because of that, we got to see the play. Now, did you see this play? Mm-hmm. It was your boy Anthony Richardson. Mike, have you ever seen a game where the quarterback tap out because he's tired?
No, I thought he got hurt. So, and then he didn't know. I was just tired. I'm like, what? Man, you know what? Speaking of this, someone did that in Tristan's football game, middle school, 8th grade. And he pretty much didn't go back in because he didn't want to, right? And so he got benched, of course, for the rest of the season. And I was like, wait, you got an NFL quarterback doing that? Like, come on, man. Come
on. It's Tasha, your thoughts?
I have 3 thoughts. Let's look at this, what you have right here. Playing in NFL, I feel like it's easier than in college. A few of us have said this long before the commentators been saying this. You probably should have still had your ass at Florida. Let's just start there. But I understand why you went out, and I'm not going to sit up here and hark on the boy because he's having, going through some things. I am a fan. Number 2, we don't know how many quarterbacks actually do tap out. Maybe they just have sense enough to say, I'm going to say I'm injured so I can get this rest, so I can get this break. Number 3, bruh, you got to keep that in-house. That's all he should have said. When they said what was happening, this is, organizational discussion that we've had behind closed doors, and let the media speculate like they always do. That you should have never came out and just said, I was tired. So now you got a 49-and-a-half-year-old man out here taking your job, which may not be a bad thing, because I do think Anthony Richardson probably needs to sit a little more. But Indy drafted him to be their quarterback of the future. So what do you like? What's the best scenario for him?
Tasha, you cooked on every single point. And I love the fact that you started with him basically playing the NFL for a joke, saying, it's probably harder in college, when to your point, he didn't play that many games in college. He probably could have stood to stay another year. Second of all, I 1,000% agree that we just got through talking about this with the SEC. This is when you lay your ass down. Like, this is when you hold your ankle. Give Flacco some time to warm up on the sideline. You got to throw your helmet off. Come out for a play that way. But for you to stand at the podium and say, and I quote, I was tired, man. I ain't gonna lie. No, lie, man, lie. What are you doing?
You got a quarterback that plays for the Jets that's making a career off a line.
He catching strays every week now. Claude Banks. I'm tired, boss.
I'm tired, boss. 1 Mississippi, 2
Mike.
Mississippi.
Mike, should this move be permanent, or is this something that you just?
Man, I've been screaming from the rooftop about how the NFL has changed for the worse when it comes to quarterback. When the quarterback, heat stroke. Come on now. When the quarterback development in the NFL.
Dome, Mike.
Hey, you can. It gets hot in there. It's humid. People don't turn on ACs. Come on now. When was the last concert you went into a dome? It gets hot sometimes at the AT&T Stadium.
It does.
Jerry be like, nah, y'all don't get AC today.
Open that
They
roof.
don't deserve no
Open
damn
it.
Let
AC.
that fresh air in. Open that roof.
Yeah.
Right.
But no, I think the NFL needs to go back to development of quarterbacks from these young quarterbacks. I think most of them need to sit, to be honest.
Okay, now that gets us into the weeds of another conversation because waiting around on quarterbacks to get your ass fired. Like, we go back to the 90s when quarterbacks got a chance to sit and develop. Think about it. Troy Aikman, number 1 overall pick in 88, 89. They go 1-15. Jimmy Johnson's first year. He had time to go from 1-15 to 7-9 to 9-7 to the Super Bowl run when they got all those Herschel Walker
Right.
picks.
Super Bowl run.
Right.
Exactly.
Steve McNair. He was drafted 3rd overall in 95. He sat. He wasn't really a full-time entrenched starter until they got to Nashville in 99. And then he went on and have a great career.
Put Rich Gannon out there.
Right. So to y'all's point, and I do agree that these quarterbacks are coming in the league underdeveloped. They're coming out too fast, and these coaches have to play them because ownership is making them play them, or you're going to get fired.
That is the one thing that I appreciate about Deion Sanders, because what is he doing with Shador? Coaching him pro style.
Yes.
He has him under center, taking snaps, even though he's getting knocked around a lot. He is coaching him pro style. And I think a lot of times it is hard to transfer that game if you're not in a pro style offense in college to the NFL. Like they say, the NFL, okay, yeah, you may be SEC fast, but the NFL is Olympic fast.
Yes. Excellent point. And Mike, I do agree about the development. So what do you do with Richardson now? Is he a lost cause? Is this a forgivable sin?
Yeah.
I don't think it's a lost. I don't think he's a lost cause because I do think there's talent there. Even though he doesn't have the same play style as Flacco, he can still learn a lot from Flacco. I think so.
Yeah,
When
like this moment, like keep your mouth shut.
Basically, especially when it comes to like keep your mouth shut, like Mike said, game management. Thinking like, because the boy has a cannon of an arm, and then another. I'm going to defend him. I watched that game. Some of those receivers were missing those wide open passes. It was at least 3 that he threw 30 yards, and the wide receiver just didn't turn around for the play or had his hands out and it went straight through his hands. It was at least 3 that I saw.
But that's like veteran stuff that, like, to your point, he can help you with. Like Flacco can be like, this is how you communicate with your wide receivers on the side. Like another. I think that Tom Brady's another example of like, yeah, Belichick and all that, they had that on the side of like how to coach receivers, but Brady coached his wide receivers on a one-on-one. Be like, hey, anytime this is open, just turn around. I'm gonna throw you the ball. Stuff like that.
But if that's the play that's drawn up and your wide receiver just physically does not turn around and put his hands up to catch the ball, that ain't on him. Or if the hands are out and you can't catch it, that's not on. The stats go against him as an incomplete, but just like a lot of times with these interceptions, if it's tipped, it really ain't on the quarterback if it's tipped, but it is because he threw the ball. So the incompletions go to him because the receiver didn't catch the ball. But I was looking and I was like, so why he didn't catch that? This is before he tapped out saying I was tired. But yeah, It was a lot. It was at least 2 or 3 passes that the wide receiver just did not catch.
Maybe he stopped himself mid-sentence as he was going to be like, man, I'm tired of these wide receivers not catching the ball. And he was like, man, I was just tired.
Good stuff, Mike. Good stuff. That could have, right. He's taking one for the team.
Hey, Rigo.
Now, Mike, you haven't seen this name.
Come on with it, Rigo, because see, they came for me in our group. He came for me in our group chat, Rigo. So I'm gonna let you handle it.
Rigo, welcome. How about them Cowboys? Ha 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 ha. How about them Cardinals? How about them Rams without Hall and Oates? How about all them other teams that whooped y'all upside the head? Come on, man. Y'all got the same amount of losses.
Rigo, they talk so bad about me when I try to defend the Yay area.
How about them? Now, Langston, I do appreciate your bang 9 a game.
Stop it.
Y'all are 4-4.
Right. Stop it.
Yeah,
stop.
We ain't heard a peep out of y'all since Hack was a pup. Now,
That's
Langston, I do appreciate you. But if you want to send him a GoFundMe, I ain't gonna use it on no computer now. I'm gonna buy me a plane ticket home to Nashville. That's what I'm gonna do with that.
I mean, they got the tip button. Let's go.
Right, let's run it. Now he's Jarrell says Soul on Sports. Let me get his sports name right. We gotta shout him out right. Richardson needs to be on the Peloton bike on the sidelines the whole game so he can work his stamina. But to Tasha's point, and that's true. But to Tasha's point, they dropped 2 touchdowns on the damn drive. You can catch the damn ball. I ain't gotta do this. Although look, Colts. This is what y'all get for getting rid of Peyton Manning in the first place. You thought you had that shiny new toy with that kid from Stanford. What's his name?
Andrew Luck.
Andrew Luck. So you pushed Peyton out the door to suck for luck and ain't had no luck since. That's what y'all get.
And Peyton won another title.
And Amari Cooper too, and Anthony Richardson. He called in on his day off. I mean, called out while he was at work.
Right. You can follow your down. Now, Langston says, I think the NFL has to draft to scheme versus talent or change the scheme. Coaching has ruined a lot of the QBs. Coaching is ruining Will Levis right now. Brian Callahan, first-year coach for the Titans. Will Levis is regressing under his tutelage.
Okay, so what about Malik Willis? Look at what he's doing. You don't want to give y'all. Y'all want to talk bad about Malik Willis. Y'all didn't want him. Back then, you didn't want him. Now he hot. Holds all on him.
If the Titans had Green Bay's offensive and defensive talent in Tennessee, he would have never had to leave because he would still be started there. It's about the supporting cast as well.
And coaching.
I'm with you right here, Langston, because he made me mad Sunday night. Now look, Mike, here's a Niners fan. How about them Lions, PC? So now you riding the Lions? You looking up to them in the stadium.
First of all, it ain't gonna be no Lion slander because that's my quarterback.
Mike, if the 49ers and the Lions played this week, wouldn't that be your lock?
Oh, absolutely. I'm gonna go Lions plus 7.5 or minus 7.5.
Rigo, it's always a hater in the group. Thank you. Put it back up.
No, Mike,
put it back up. Put it back up. It said we got 49 problems, but the cap. There you go, Rigo. There you go.
I mean,
Paul, you got
to take the spankings till next year, or the year after.
Oh, really? Oh, really? Okay, so to that, I say this, Rigo.
What that means?
When you gonna beat them?
FSU.
You got one problem, and his name is Patrick Mahomes.
When y'all gonna beat us?
You got one problem, and his name is Andy Reid.
When y'all gonna beat us? And
Mike Shanahan is 0-70 against Andy Reid.
And y'all problem is the whole league.
Beat them. Don't be punching down.
Y'all problem is the whole league.
No,
whole league.
Shanahan has never beaten Andy Reid.
Whole league.
Ever.
Well, I said Andy Reid's a good coach.
Ever.
That's the fact that y'all can win on.
No, don't play with them on Madden.
That is dysfunctional. If they can win on, we can't win in real life.
Now, Mike, we can fight about this till the cows come home, and we will. But it's time for your locks of the week because Mike went 2-0 again last week. I'm trying to get y'all some Christmas money.
One of y'all owed me money. One of y'all owed me money because y'all bet against me, so you know who you are.
He ain't in the chat today. I don't see him in the chat today, Mike.
All right. I'm gonna go my college game. I'm gonna go Duke plus 20.5 versus Miami. That's a lot of points, and I know I did that with FSU. However, Duke has somewhat of an offense, so I'm gonna go Duke plus 20.5.
Yeah, because that Miami defense have shown that it has cracks
in
it.
Can't stop nobody. And then I got Washington Commanders favored by 4.5 against the Giants. 4. It's at 4 right now. Boom.
I'm taking both of them, and I'm gonna put a little something on it so I can fly home and see my mama in a few weeks. So, Mike, thank you for the plane ticket money. AmericanAirlines.com. You will be seeing me shortly after this weekend's events. When I cash my ticket in, thank you, Mike. I appreciate you. Y'all, Mike has been hitting at about an 80% clip, y'all. You don't even get those kind of betting odds on those Vegas shark accounts. Mike, what's your secret? Don't tell your secret.
Man, I just wake up in
He
the morning
is
like
Vegas.
this.
What you mean? Mike is
No.
Vegas.
Like,
Man, I wish
you
that
man,
my
them
VPN
lobsters-
don't work. I wish I could bet on these. I just do prize picks the whole time. So,
Well, speaking of prize picks, Tasha and Mike have been
damn
going at it,
Cowboys. That's
y'all.
what
This has been
happened.
a great-
So tried to tell
Been a
y'all,
great
but
battle.
no.
Y'all still stink. I'm over 50%, y'all. I'm bringing up the rear. I'm no longer the caboose. I'm in the trunk now. I'm moving my way up to the back seat. Hopefully, I'll get close enough one of these days to actually like be in the conversation. But for now, this is a Mike and Tasha segment. So, which one of y'all want to go first?
I'll go first.
Mike, Ohio State, Penn State. Who you got?
I got Ohio State.
Tasha.
Let me tell you something. You got a kid out there wearing that famous number at defensive end. You had the likes of LeVar Arrington and one Michael Parsons as Mr. Abdul Carter, 11 from heaven. He gonna get on that ass. He gonna sack that quarterback because he bumping his gums. I'm from this area. They didn't recruit me, but the FIs didn't recruit you because you went to Kansas State. But I digress. Penn State.
Tasha, I like Tasha. You talked me into Penn State. I like that. Also, what talks me into Penn State is the play of that offensive line, especially the left and right tackle position at Ohio State. And I think they lost their center as well. If you can't block,
Franklin won in 22 against top 5 teams, so
it's about to change today. But also, one thing that does scare me about Penn State is their lack of quarterback play in general. But I'm still going to go for Penn State.
But the one thing that scares me about Penn State is Franklin.
Yeah.
He is the spray painted version of Ryan Day.
Right.
Mike, let me ask you this.
He says.
Speaking of spray paint, with all that Beijing.
That's what I'm.
Speaking of spray paint.
Hold on. I want to see the whites of your eyes. I'm going to bring these picks back up here in just a second, but I want to see the whites of your eyes when I ask you this, Mike. Mike, if Penn State loses this, if Ohio State loses this game, they're out of the Big Ten championship for the 4th year in a row because that means Oregon and Penn State have wins over them and the tiebreaker. Like, you in Happy Valley on the whiteout. Is this a wrap?
It should be played at night.
Oh, yeah.
But I digress.
It's a wrap. But the sad thing is that could still help them because then they wouldn't have to play another game in a Big Ten championship. So they could have 2 losses. Like that's what's crazy about it. It's like, man.
No, the CFP had better not.
You know, they're going to have at least 3 Big Ten teams in there. I'm just saying. Could be 4.
Tasha, can we see Tarmac Part 2? If they lose at Penn State today,
yeah, because Penn State does not have because what game were they flying out to, and they had to drive somewhere to get to the airport? They have a road right there. They had to make their own lane because there's no access in and out of Penn State. They're gonna get old Beijing a day, bro. Let me holler at you.
Right.
Let me holler at you. Do you see this
Let
service
me
road?
Let me hold that badge.
You see this service road? We need you to get your ass right there, and the bus gonna pick you up.
Man, that would be a great day.
Because I was watching one of the sports shows or something, and they were like, his record is like 63-9 or something. The 63 wins don't matter. It's those 9 losses that could get him to lose his job.
Because it's the top ranked teams.
Yeah.
Mike and Tasha have been cooking this hour. Like, y'all, I have really learned from some stuff from y'all, from some of y'all's perspective today. Like, I have really enjoyed you two's takes today. I really have, just as a fan, a sports fan. All right, SMU versus undefeated Pitt. Tasha, let me go first since I'm in last place. No, Tasha, you go first. Talk me into something.
I really like Pitt.
I think
I think I'm gonna go with the Pitt Panthers. SMU, I love it. It's a good story, but I think Pitt got a little bit more history behind it that ain't involving Trans Ams.
SMU was right. Okay, what you did? SMU is looking like the Pony Express again, though.
Yeah,
I'm going Pitt. I'm gonna go Pitt.
You know,
Mike?
I got to do the D-Town Boogie over here. You know, I got to go with SMU. Come on now.
Mike hit the. I ain't from Dallas, but I D-Town Chargers, Cleveland. The Fighting Jameis Winston's in the house.
Damn. I'm
going with the Chargers.
Chargers look like ass.
Right.
Who'd you pick?
Chargers.
I didn't pick the Chargers. I got to think on that one.
Well, Mike, you go. Then she'll go.
I got the Chargers.
See, everything in me wants to pick the Chargers, but man, Cleveland, look. I mean, I'm just
saying, whenever Freak Nasty's not under center.
Right. I don't know if I can really just trust him, though, because he did a few things at the end of that other game that made me kind of be like, okay, I'm glad you won, but bro, you almost lost that. So, yeah, right. I'm gonna go with the Chargers too, because I can't trust Jameis. I can't.
Do y'all realize that Jesse Minter, the defensive coordinator for Michigan last year under Harbaugh, who had the top-ranked scoring defense in college football, has the top-ranked scoring defense in the NFL? Give me the Chargers. Harbaugh, you and your staff something else. Y'all, like, for it to translate in one season and who the Chargers were defensively and from a physicality standpoint the previous 5 years when they were soft and not closing out games, y'all got to put some respect on Harbaugh and Minter, that staff. Chicago versus Arizona, 2 overall number 1 picks going at it in the desert.
I'll go first. I got Chicago.
What's the line? Mike, what's the line on that?
They have Chicago. Let's see. They got Arizona favored by 1.
Ooh,
but they're also at home, so that's why.
I'm gonna go Chicago. Yeah, I got Chi-Town on that one because I
need to make up a game, so I'm going Arizona.
Kyler Murray will never be it for me.
No, I agree, but I'm gonna go Arizona because I'm desperate. Detroit versus Green Bay.
Why the Browns, Steve?
She believed.
Because I didn't go on my ABOB. I do ABOB, but I don't. I don't know, man. I can't.
Mike, that theory has been tested and challenged. Winston defense, Watson, the fan. Hush, Tasha. I thought he spoke well. Hold on.
No, he did. No. I'm fully convinced that Jameis is capable because you don't win the Heisman Trophy. You don't win a national championship by being a scrub. You do not. Well, some people do. But it's just some of his game. Like at the end when he threw that, it's like, I don't know. I mean, Winston is capable. I mean, I've always thought Winston was a better quarterback on most of the teams that he was at, especially down there in New Orleans. I thought he was the better quarterback choice. I actually like him better than Deshaun Watson. But in this, this is my thing. He's got this 1 week under his belt. They're going to work those kinks out. That's why I don't know who to pick.
No, that was a great game to put on there, Mike, because it is a toss-up.
I'm going to stick with the Chargers. They are different. They most definitely are, Steve. They are different. You know what? I'm going to stay with the Chargers.
They were a playoff team without Watson last year.
See old Freak Nasty? See what being Freak Nasty get you, Diddy Jr.?
That's different.
Detroit versus Green Bay.
Both had to do something with massage, allegedly.
Detroit versus the Packers of Green Bay.
Oh, Detroit.
Detroit.
You already know.
Oh, wait a minute, Tasha. What happened to your Malik Willis? Malik Willis. Well, you ain't ABOB? He the starter.
Jordan Love, I thought they said Jordan Love was starting.
Yeah, Jordan Love starting.
Langston? No, don't do that, Langston. Don't do it.
Do it without the baby oil, Langston. Maybe it'll be okay.
Keep it at the foots. Just make it a foot massage. Don't keep it at the foot. Don't let it get
Rex Ryan got a
good
mean
scalp
foot
massages
fetish.
too.
Rex Ryan got a mean foot fetish.
Ain't nothing wrong with a nice set of feet, but I'm just saying that's now we're venturing off into the after dark segment. So, Mike, hurry up and shout somebody out before we get in trouble.
Shout out to Tristan. He had his best defensive game. He had 2 forced fumbles, 2 fumble recoveries, and like 5 tackles. So shout out on that.
Nice.
And then Cameron just played. Well, he was in band last night, and McKinney High won 3rd place, which gets you into the playoffs. So congrats on that.
We going to the ship. Tasha, who you shouting out?
Y'all, this is going to be the weirdest shout out and backhanded comment ever. Y'all know daylight savings time is coming up, and I hate it because that will now put me 2 hours behind Central Standard Time, an hour behind Eastern Time because we don't observe daylight savings time here. So that makes all of my television and my sports viewing just the worst thing ever. I will never see the end of a game and barely see the beginning of certain games. However, my shout out goes to someone who I think is a lunatic. Don't agree with him anything politically or what he says, but it goes out to Marco Rubio. He put the Sunshine Bill up there, which they keep letting it die when it goes to the Congress and the Senate. If y'all don't pass this damn Sunshine Bill to quit this damn daylight savings time,
for real,
I'm gonna die. So shouts out to Marco Rubio because he did kind of bring it back up, but he's too busy out here stomping his feet for somebody orange. But after all that said and done, Marco Rubio, please put the Sunshine Bill back out there, please for your girl, please.
Good job by you. I want to give a shout out to Mike and Tasha for holding it down throughout the technical difficulties. Shouts out, you all did a phenomenal job today. Thanks for everybody who's checking out in the chat. Great conversation, great stuff today. Your comedic time and everything was really awesome today. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we got some football to get to. Tasha, one last word.
Y'all saw my little Cassie in the screen, so I had to take him to his vet. Y'all do know he was a stray that was found. And little Cassie has leukemia, guys. He got it from his mother, which they said is typical when you have strays that they pick up, diseases because they're basically strays being birthed by animals that have never had any type of treatment. However, little Cassie is okay. He has vitamins. I have to give them. He has 4 drops in the morning, and if y'all saw him, he's healthy. When I left, Castor was this big. Castor has gained over 1.5 pounds, and he's 7 months old, and he is at about 4 pounds now. So shouts out to my little Cassie. He's in the window now, taking him a cat nap. Where he should have been while his ass is nap while I'm here trying to do my show.
He said that was the Morris the Cat 9 Lives cat food.
It is. Everybody talks about an orange cat, but the orange cat is the most seen cat in movies and in advertisements.
Shouts out to Garfield. Shouts out to AP Coulter. And shouts out to the University of Michigan, who's going to not only cover, but they're going to win it head up today against them. We said Duck. Tasha, take us out here.
Vamos Azul.
Peace.